Hello, my name is David Peabody. Welcome to my museum. For my entire life, I've been a collector of my own artifacts, a curator of my own museum. Friends, different things, artifacts. I'm glad you're here and would like to offer you a personal tour. I'm hoping that in the end, maybe you'll find something, a takeaway, that if you'd like to curate your own museum, you might borrow as well. Before we begin, I'd like to offer you 3 questions. They're not the kind that you hear every day, but they're ones that if you're going to look into your past or in the past, you should consider. Here's the elevator. Step in. How does reflection play into your life? Do you enjoy recalling past experiences and memories? And what is your motivation for living? I'll be offering you a glimpse into 3 rooms in my museum, each of which has a different glimpse into my life. First off, the video room. In 2011, I viewed a TED Talk by Caesar Kuriyama entitled 1 Second Every Day. Caesar was dissatisfied with his rat race advertising job, and so he started a project where he would record 1 second out of his life every day for an entire year and see where it went. For Caesar, visualization was a way of recalling memories, and he didn't want his life to sail by and forget what had happened. When I saw that TED Talk, I got inspired. For Caesar, after his TED Talk, he started a Kickstarter campaign to develop an app so it would be easier to capture it on a cell phone. And after that Kickstarter app, the 1 second everyday app began. I was really inspired by Caesar, and so for 5 years I've been collecting my own seconds as well, using the app to mash them together and then to share them on social media perhaps, or reminisce on my own. And I'd like to just play for you just maybe 30 seconds of one. This is from last year, 2017.
Wenatchee! 2, 3. Birthday! Day 9! Size 1.
So just seeing for a few seconds, you see what I see, what's important to me, what I capture. My daughter, my wife, sometimes my dog, the laughing fits and sometimes tantrums that happen, dinners with friends, sometimes a beautiful sunset, sometimes just rainy days, and this was juggling in my classroom last year. I am grateful to Caesar for sharing this with the world. My life is richer because of this. I want to remember. I want to make sure that I capture every moment. The next room is called the library. When I was in college, I took a lot of philosophy classes, and so my philosophy professor, with whom I had several classes, wanted us to take journals and to write in journals. I didn't buy it. I didn't like it. I didn't see the point in it, but I wanted the grade, so I did it reluctantly, and it kind of helped, because I'm not one who can develop analyses or quickly off the cuff verbally. So for me, writing things down helped me to analyze the dense philosophical texts or the tough novels that we read. After those philosophy classes, the habit persisted in me. It worked for me, so I started some journaling. I bought my own journals and just started writing. Sometimes one journal took several years to fill up. One year I filled up several journals, but it persisted and it works. Nowadays I don't write in a journal, but I have my own blog called thepeabodychronicles.com. It's a little easier to capture things and have a little bit more color in our tech-heavy world. So every post that I write is a letter to my daughter. I include what she's doing, maybe some audio of something that's happened, an adventure, and maybe pictures from a vacation, and then also what's going on in my life, and then perhaps a podcast or a video or a book that had a great effect on me. When I'm done with this, I feel a sense of completion, like I've started and finished a chapter in my own autobiography. I feel lighter having processed these moments. The final room is called the Peabody Archives. My senior year of college, I got a call from the NFL team Chicago Bears. They wanted to come in time and test me to see if I had what it took to be an NFL player in their upcoming draft. This was a peak experience for me. I wanted to capture this moment. I had worked really, really hard to become the best football player I could be. So if I had wanted to have any chance to make it big, I wanted it. I wanted to document this moment. So I went to the university bookstore and got a planner. This is from Millikan University, and this is the very first entry I wrote. Wednesday the 18th, Bears scout Gary Smith, 4.57 seconds. So I kept the planner for the year, and I kept adding things because I found out that it helped me keep organized. I put in tests, quotes sometimes, or commitments that I had, or adventures that I had. And in the end, I had a great senior football season, but the Bears weren't interested, so I never really made it big. So I decided to become a teacher. And I went to Illinois State University, and I continued buying planners, and this is the one from the next year, and the year after, and this time I added maybe some movie tickets, or quotes, or doodles, or sketches, and there was one spring break trip that I took. I was a service leader to work in soup kitchens and homeless shelters in Colorado. It had a great effect on me. I loved it. So I ran out of space in that week. But there was something that always bothered me about the planners that you buy in the store. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are given ample space. But the weekends, half as much. I didn't buy that. I wanted to maximize my weekends. So I went rogue and bought my own journal, a blank journal, just with no lines, and started to populate it with a typical week, with Friday, Saturday, and Sunday even more space on the right side. In that year, I had a gap semester before I was to student teach, so I bought a plane ticket and a Eurail ticket and bounced around Western Europe in a backpacking adventure for a month, writing down things in different languages, just soaking up everything. When I came home, I covered the planner in a Kroger grocery bag, put some labels and stickers on it, and the Peabody planner was conceived. This routine kept going for me. Year after year, buying my own planner, making my own weeks, until 25 years after the Bears said they weren't interested in me, we come to year 2018. And this is the Peabody Planner, year 2018. It has, it's evolved a little bit because I don't have to add directions or phone numbers or addresses anymore, but this is my daughter's first recognizable drawing that she calls the dog. And so this accidental habit has become a talking point. I have a friend who I play Ultimate Frisbee with who bought the domain name PeabodyPlanner.com, hoping that he might sometime make a web-based version of it so he could use it. I have a colleague ask how to see what the latest in the Peabody Planner is, Mr. Grant. When we have meetings, when I jot some things down, he just is curious about it. Another friend texts me on December 31st, wanting to be the first one to see what the new cover looks like. But in the end, this stack of books is not going to be a moneymaker for me. It's not going to be in a real museum like Leonardo da Vinci's sketches or notebooks, but it's priceless to me, and it represents me and all the dentist appointments and practices and classes and community conversations and those little things that add up, days to seconds to years. But for this TED Talk, I realized okay, Peabody, you document things, whatever. You can record things for 25 years. So what? I'm really good at writing down the who, what, when, and where in my life, but none of these give you an idea as to why. Why do I hoard journals, collect things, not throw away my pictures or take 1 second and mash them up? The answer is personal, but it has to do with the questions I asked you earlier. How does reflection play into your life? Do you enjoy looking back and recalling past experiences? And what is your motivation for living? Like really, why do you get up every day, follow directions, come to educational talks in the afternoon, eat to sustain yourself? Why do you do those things? I practice these habits because they remind me that to stop and recall that, just memorialize things in my life. I am more engaged in my future because I can look back on my past. And the rooms remind me here that I'm alive and affect those around me. I matter a great deal to people. And these things that I do must be critical for me to keep healthy, happy, and whole. And why is that? Well, because for me, deep down, I don't think for me there's a meaning of life. I really think there's a meaning in life, and it's my responsibility to create it, 1 second or page at a time. And that is work that for me has taken a lifetime to achieve. David Foster Wallace, in his 1994 commencement address entitled "This is Water," talks about how the most important realities that we humans face are really the hardest to see and talk about, and that we have a default setting that makes us think we are the center of the universe. But if, in a true liberal arts education, you really learn how to think, you learn how to discover the sacredness in the small, petty, time-sucking events like standing in line or waiting in traffic, waiting with other people. Because it's those things that give you the opportunity to see a connection and an awareness that helps you create the meaning in your life. It takes constant reminding, but in the end, if you can get into that routine, you will discover the meaning in your life before your death. I chronicle, record, and write because I'm really yearning to connect as well, just to myself, to my friends and family, to you all, and that I know at the quantum level, we're really all connected. And what I help create helps create you. And the memories and shared experience I have remind me what I truly am here for, which is to learn to love. Those are the rooms in my Peabody Museum. I hope you enjoyed your tour. On the way up, on the elevator, I'd like to tell you a story. One spring, I was at the Sky Harbor International Airport in Phoenix, Arizona, just waiting for a plane to take me back to my home state in Illinois. I was waiting just like other people, and I was sitting at the terminal, and on the inside of the terminal, on both sides, were 2 window washers, making their way in my peripheral vision away from me, doing their jobs. One window washer, you could tell that he was not probably having the best of days. His countenance showed it. He was kind of not talking to people as he was making his way across with the windows with his squeegee and glass and rag, almost making it inconvenient for other people. He would not tell them when he shuffled past them to move. They had to do it themselves. Person on the other side, though, same window washer, was doing his job, but he used different colors to paint his day. He was whistling, smiling, even sashaying between the windows. He had created a holster on his belt so that when the squeegee was done, he would wipe it with his rag, toss it up, and catch it right in his holster. People clapped for this guy. They let their children follow him along the terminal. And he truly made a dance of his job and an art out of his craft. So these 2 people had the same seconds, the same environment, interacting with the same people, but with entirely different choices. And it's that memory for me that helps me remember that we all have the power to choose how we see our lives, and that we're really in charge of creating the meaning in it. And that we are the curators of our own museum. And when we pay attention to what we really pay attention to, second after day after year, it will silently reveal its secrets to you and what the meaning in your life is. Here's another couple slides from the old archives. Family, dancing with my grandma, my niece, my high school buddies, senior year football, senior year track, trip to Utah, Gwendolyn Brooks, the author who visited my home state library, Mount Rainier, and my family. So what moments you choose to capture and treasure, what you write down in your own planner, remind you that if you really want to make it big, you have to pay attention to those small things, the small, mundane, time-sensitive things that make up seconds to days to years. I am certain that there is probably a room in your museum that is worth exploring, worth curating. I hope you can discover that room, learn to love it, and make it big. Thank you.